You don't need friends to live a fulfilling life, but for years I thought I did. So let me tell you what changed and how I found more joy, more peace, and more freedom than I ever imagined. So it started a few years ago. I was scrolling through Instagram. You know, the usual feed of brunches, of wedding photos, of group selfies, and pictures like that. And suddenly I felt like this little knot in my stomach, like somehow I was failing at life because I wasn't in those photos, because I wasn't surrounded by people. And something kind of hit me. I realized that I'd been waiting for people to call or waiting for plans to happen to feel full about my life. It was in that moment that I asked myself, what if I stopped waiting? What if I became the person I was waiting for? Instead of scrolling through photos of people on girls' trips and, vacations I wasn't invited to, why don't I just go? So that's the first thing having no friends taught me. If you're waiting for someone else to bring fulfillment to your life, you'll be waiting forever. So I decided that day that I was gonna stop waiting, okay? Even if it felt awkward, even if it meant doing things alone, even if people were gonna be staring at me and wondering why she's alone, I took myself out to dinner. I started traveling and seeing the world solo. I started going to events and exploring hobbies and doing a bunch of different things that I've always wanted to try. For example, in 2022, I wanted to go to see Usher in Vegas when he had the residency. I wanted to go really bad. The reviews were good and it looked like a lot of fun, but it meant that I was gonna have to fly to Vegas alone and I was gonna have to go to the concert alone. Truthfully, it sounds like something that would be more fun if you went with people or if you went with your friends. But guess what? I went alone and I had the best time. The performance was amazing. I was literally singing every song and the people around me were cool. We, even shared a few laughs together. It wasn't weird at all. In a way, it was freeing. I was enjoying something that I loved without anyone else's opinion or expectations holding me back, which made me realize something important. I didn't need permission to live my life. But that is just the beginning. The next thing I learned completely changed how I see myself. And it's something I think everyone needs to hear. The second thing I learned was how to embrace solitude. At first it felt so weird, like something was missing. But the more I sat with myself, the more I realized there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. You can totally live a fulfilling life without a lot of social connections. Have you ever sat down just by yourself in complete silence with like no music or nothing like that and just listened to yourself? I know it sounds really strange, but go ahead and try it because there's a certain peace that comes with it. I find that it works even better if I'm like out in nature, maybe by the beach or by a lake or something like that, and just sitting and listening to my thoughts and my inner voice and just trying to understand myself can be extremely powerful. So solitude became my superpower, right? It's where I started listening to myself instead of the noise that's around me. And most importantly, it's where I started building a relationship with the one person who would always be there for me, me. So here's my question for you. What's one thing that you can do today that is just for you? Let me know in the comments. The third lesson was about joy, not the big, flashy, over-the-top kind, but the kind that you find in little things, such as lighting my favorite candle and curling on the sofa with a book I've been meaning to read forever, right? Or dancing alone to my favorite song in my living room. Those moments aren't just small moments, they're my moments, right? And that's what makes them so special. I learned to slow down and notice the details, like the warmth of the sun on my face, or the sound of the birds when I'm outside going for a walk, or even the rich aroma of my coffee when I'm making it and how it makes my apartment smells. It's so easy to overlook these small moments when you're chasing something bigger, but when you like slow down life a little, you realize those moments are the big ones, and that's what fulfillment is. The truth is, fulfillment isn't out there waiting for you. It's something that you build piece by piece every single day. And that's why it's very much within your control. So here's another thing that having no friends taught me. Fulfillment comes when you stop living by other people's rules. I stopped asking myself, what should I be doing in this situation? And I started asking myself, what do I, Latoya, actually want to do in this situation? That's when everything shifted. I started building routines that I love. I started trying things that I've always wanted to do, and let go of the idea that I needed to explain myself. Because when you stop living for other people, you start living for you. The next lesson that having no friends taught me was about confidence. When you do things on your own, things that you'd normally ask someone to help you with, you realize just how capable you actually are. It's not about being perfect, it's about knowing that you can handle it. So every time I succeeded at something, even in the smallest ways, it built a little bit more trust in myself. And that trust, that's the foundation of confidence. Another very important lesson I learned was letting go of the need for external validation. So I used to post a lot on social media. I used to share a lot of things about my life, and I used to check the posts to see how many likes I got or what people were saying about me or the comments. Now I rarely post anything, if at all. Maybe when I'm on vacation, I'll post here or there, but other than that, except for YouTube, I don't really use social media. When you stop living for likes and you start living for yourself, you feel so free. Free to explore, free to grow, free to do whatever you want, free to just be. I went from feeling like I was missing out to living a life that I love now. A life that is meaningful, a life that is full, and a life that is, yes, completely mine. Guess where I am? Buckingham Palace. I just got done doing a tour. Oh my goodness. And finally, having no friends taught me what really matters. It's not the parties, the social media milestones, or the group photos. It's the quiet moments, the things that make you feel alive, and the life that you create for yourself. It's about creating a life that you love and realizing that that's more than enough. So looking back at the past couple of years, every step I took, every boundary that I set, every time I said yes to myself, it all led me here to a life that is not just fulfilling, but one that I can truly call my own. And if I can do it, so can you. Fulfillment isn't about having it all. It's about appreciating what you have and making the most of it every day. And remember, you don't need friends to live a fulfilling life. You just need you. Okay, so listen up, you amazing, thriving, independent legend. You don't need anyone to tell you how to live your life, okay? But maybe stop eating pizza for dinner 3 nights in a row. Baby steps? Because we don't have friends, we understand that people come and go. We understand that life isn't static. We get better at picking up on those little passive-aggressive statements.